Howdy ho! And welcome to podcast number 5. How was that? The cool little bloody Madcapsules logos I've got now. It's pretty cool. So I decided during the week that I wanted to test out finding an artist on a website called Fiverr. Fiverr. And I found an artist there who made me a couple of little icons as Madcapsules. So I'm using those for intros and outros. I'm using it as my avatar, and I'm using it for doing music reviews. So I did my first music review this week as well on baby metal of all things, and it went pretty well. Actually, it got many more hits than I expected it to get. First couple of days, I think it's almost on 400 views. So baby metal's pretty popular and contentious, I guess. So I enjoyed doing it. I will have to do it again. But that's where I'm at the moment. Hopefully you enjoy my cute little Madcapsules. But this is the Vodcast. So what am I here to talk about? I'm here to talk about this guy. What did I do this week? Well, it hasn't been the greatest of weeks. It hasn't been a bad week, but I have currently had the last 3 days without yoga, and 2 of those days without doing any meditation. Now, Saturday I went to a wedding. It was a great day, beautiful day. We got home late after picking the kids up, and it was a couple of hours drive. I was pretty tired, but I decided to have some drinks. So I went to bed drunk, woke up with a hangover. But I've been waking up at 6 a.m. every day for the last month or so. And after drinking, I ended up getting up at 11 a.m. So, yeah, it was pretty good to wake up that late, but it was also pretty shitty. So I didn't do any yoga that day, obviously missed my meditation as well. The next day, my son was pretty sick, so we ended up not sleeping very well that night. So the same thing happened again the next day. I just couldn't get up early. And I guess after 2 days of not being able to get up early, it was in the blood, so I didn't get up early again this morning. Kind of blamed it on my shoulder. So last week I think I talked about how I had ultrasound on my shoulder and I was going to get the results and find out what was wrong with it. Well, I did get the results. It turns out I have bursitis and the starts of arthritis in my shoulder. Silly shoulder, stop being so old. And that is what's causing me all this pain, but at the same time it's causing a lot of muscular tension in my neck, which is causing a hell of a lot of pain in my neck. So that's the reason I used as an excuse to skip my yoga this morning. But I've been thinking about it all day, and I'm pretty sure that it's not so much the truth. I think it's a function of avoidance. This last week of yoga has been, because it's the final week in the course I'm doing, it's extremely hard. So last week where I said I was having trouble holding some of the poses, this week I can't even do some of the poses. Getting into the positions is painful. Holding the positions is virtually impossible. So I think I've been avoiding it for that particular reason. And rather than continuing to avoid it, I'm going to go back to the start. I'm going to do the first week for maybe 2 or 3 weeks in a row, keep cycling the same thing over and over again until I'm confident to move on to the second week, and so on. So I'm just going to avoid doing this really difficult third week. I don't need to finish it until I'm good well and ready to finish it, so I'll finish it then. But one thing I'm also realizing is it's really easy to fall back into bad habits, and once you get into those bad habits, they breed bad emotions and bad feelings. Like I woke up this morning at 6 a.m. My alarm went off at 6 a.m. and I felt fine. And I thought, no, I shouldn't get up. I've got a sore neck. I should sleep. I shouldn't do my yoga today. I'm going to see the doctor. I'll find out about my neck, blah, 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 blah. So I went back to sleep. I woke up at 7 a.m., just 1 hour later, and I had a headache, and I just felt terrible. So I should have just gotten up at 6. Even if I didn't do my yoga, I should have still gotten up at 6. And I'm a bit disappointed in myself. I'm going to make sure I get up tomorrow at 6 a.m., get rid of this bad habit. I actually enjoy getting up earlier. I get things done. Being lazy is just reinforcing my laziness. So I've got to force it out of me. I was doing really well for a while. Anyway, as I mentioned, my shoulder and my neck are just completely stuffed. So I'm getting them looked at. I'm actually going to a physio tonight after I record this. So hopefully they'll be able to do something with this shit. Fix it. Physio, fix it. Anyway, what are we talking about today? Today I decided to talk about meditation. Not everyone likes meditation. Meditation gets a bit of a bad rap. Some people see it as a bit of woo-woo. And I guess it's because in the 80s and 90s, meditation was kind of seen as something somewhat esoteric. It was something that Buddhist monks did or whatever. And of course that was definitely the case, but it wasn't something that was generally in worldwide standard practice. But it's becoming more accepted these days. In fact, even my own doctor told me that I should learn meditation or mindfulness in order to deal better with stress and help myself relax and all of these kinds of things. So the good thing is I did karate for a long time in my life. I am well versed in certain things, esoteric. I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual person. I like to think that we are more than just our physical bodies. Whether or not we are is a different story altogether. I'm not getting into that argument right now. But I like to think that we are. But regardless of all of that, I still think meditation at its very most basic is really good for our health in terms of basic science. Life is really, really hard these days. Just in the last 20 years, in the last 10 years, we've gone from not having to call everyone at any point of the day because we haven't, 10 years ago we had mobile phones, but 10 years ago we didn't have message. We had SMS, but we didn't have instant messenger apps. We weren't able to get in contact with people instantly. We weren't able to send photos instantly, communicate instantly. Now, because everything's so instant and we've all got mobile phones, people expect things to be done instantly. So 20 years ago, whereas in sales, a sale could take weeks and often required things to be signed on paper and brought back to the office and filed and blah, 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 blah. Now, everyone expects it to be done while you're talking. And it's not healthy. If you've heard of the flight or fight response, this is the response or the body's response to stress or stimulus. Now, the body can't tell what stress or stimulus is. It just sees something as a stimulus, a stimulant, and it reacts to it by secreting hormones that do things to your body. Now, stress or just being at work or being under pressure is a stressor. And it causes your body to release these hormones. It causes you to have headaches and do all these things. And a lot of people, I think, don't realize that they're actually under stressed. Everyone talks about how tired they are all the time, or how they've got headaches, or they're just too busy and they've got no time to do anything, and I just feel terrible all the time now. The reality is we're all constantly under stress and none of us are doing anything about it. And there is a damn good reason to take a step back in your life and just go, whoa, everything can stop. This is just about me. And sitting there and, mindfulness and meditation are slightly different. They're not exactly the same. I would say that mindfulness is an aspect of meditation, but mindfulness is just paying attention to the present, to the here and now. Because too many of us are often thinking about all the shit that happened to us in the past, and we're worried about, oh my God, I wish I didn't say that 10 years ago. What does it matter? It doesn't matter anymore. A lot of us are making up stories in our head about what the future's going to be, and so much worry, I hope that doesn't happen. And again, it doesn't matter. It hasn't happened. Worrying about something, you're wasting energy about something that is yet to happen. And none of us are sitting in the here and now and actually just enjoying ourselves for being alive. And I think meditation and mindfulness helps you do that, helps your brain stop and slow down and perhaps even repair itself, and more importantly, stop the fight or flight response. Reduce the stresses, the physical stresses, the chemical stresses on our body. That's why I think meditation is absolutely necessary in this day and age. If not for spiritual reasons, then definitely for physical and mental health reasons. So that's my approach to meditation. It's not easy to do though, and not everyone can enjoy it. Not everyone really even understands what it is, because a lot of people think meditation is sitting there and going into some kind of weird little trance where you stop thinking. That's kind of what it is, but it's not that simple. You don't just stop thinking. Nobody can stop thinking. The brain doesn't just stop because you want it to. In a way, you can train it to, but that takes years and years of experience. I can't do that. Really, meditation is simply allowing your brain to have its thoughts and let them go. Don't focus on anything. Don't worry about anything. Just let it come and let it go. And that's really the kind of meditation I do. There's lots of different kinds of meditation. You could do a silent meditation. You can do meditation in the dark. You can do meditation with your eyes closed, eyes open. You can do transcendental meditation. You can do chanting meditation. You can focus on a word or a thought or whatever. You can have a guided meditation where someone talks to you about how you're walking through a beautiful forest and feeling relaxed. All of these different things are just different ways of taking your mind away from thinking about the things you're thinking about and thinking about the things that really don't need your attention right now. If you're not at work right now, you don't need to be thinking about work right now. Let it go. So I've tried a lot of different meditation. If we're looking at apps, I've tried Headspace, I've tried Calm, One Giant Mind, Insight Timer, Smiling Mind, and Let's Meditate. They're just the ones that I can remember while I was sitting down taking some notes about the apps that I've used. I've used plenty more. Would I recommend you use one of the big ones like Headspace or Calm? They're good. They're very flashy, but there's other free apps that give you more functionality than the free section of Headspace or Calm. I can't recommend them for that reason. Plus, they're just so ridiculously expensive. Why are you paying $100 a year to meditate? It's something you can do yourself for free. If you need guided meditation, Let's Meditate's really good. Smiling Mind is okay for beginners, but in my opinion, there's a few things that's just not great about it. The music loop is too noticeable. The music's actually a little bit jarring that they use. I don't like the voices. There's a few things about Smiling Mind I don't like. I really quite like Let's Meditate, but it's a little bit too guided. Insight Timer, if you are good or you enjoy meditation, Insight Timer is really good because all it is a timer with music of your choice and sounds of your choice, and that's it. You know, and I think that's all a meditation app really should be. There should be two types. You should be able to just make your own sounds and time and just meditate on your own, or have a little bit of guided meditation. One Giant Mind, I think, is a brilliant app if you want to learn how to meditate. If you want to be guided into learning how to meditate and learning how your body reacts to meditation, I really recommend checking out One Giant Mind. Great app, and it's made by an Aussie guy. Can't complain about that. So I now use Insight Timer and Let's Meditate. But I'm looking for something else because I want to learn transcendental meditation. I want to learn chanting meditation. Whether or not the spiritual aspects of it actually matter to me don't matter. Doesn't matter. I have done some aspects of transcendental meditation and chanting, and I've felt that I do feel differently as a result of the chanting. Now, that could just be certain components of my body vibrating, and it makes me feel better. I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to be spiritual to me, but it's all, for me, about feeling better at the end of it. And I absolutely feel like meditation helps me deal better with day to day. I aim for 20 to 30 minutes of meditation per day, split over 2 sessions. I'd prefer to do a session of 20 minutes in itself, but that's really, really hard to get to. It is hard to focus for that long. Lots of people who do meditation for long periods of time see a hell of a lot of benefits out of it, and they really recommend doing it for an hour or so. I can't quite get to that point. 10 minutes is, at the moment, my comfort zone, 10 to 15. I'd like to get to 20 minutes. If I can do 20 minutes twice a day, I'd be a happy man. the moment I'm feeling like a much more relaxed and stable person as a result of meditation, and if I don't do my meditation, I really do feel jittery and anxious, and I wish I could do it more. So I think meditation, if you suffer from anxiety, if you suffer from stress, if you suffer from depression, I think meditation is a good way to cope with some of those things, but it's not for everybody. It's definitely worth trying, and it's worth trying more than once, and it's worth trying different kinds until you find something that works for you. But again, it is really up to you and what works best for you. But I think people really do need to realize that life is very stressful at the moment, and nothing is as serious as we make it out to be. Of course, if my son fell over now and split his head open, that's pretty serious, but a lot of other things that we think are really super important that we must do now, probably aren't. And it's important to be able to put things into the right perspective and know how to do that and know how to let things go. That's why I do meditation. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this discussion. It was a very one-way discussion, but if you'd like to talk to me about what you think about meditation, pop it down into the comments. If you'd like to hear me talk about meditation again, please request. I'm happy to talk about it. If there's a specific topic you'd like me to go into, let me know. Anyway, see you next week. Who knows what I'm going to talk about then, and hopefully I can do 7 straight days of yoga again, like I did last week and the week before. Well, last week not so well, but the week before. Anyway, thank you for watching Vodcast 5. I'll see you next week. Bye. Rock on.